Hello and welcome to Alice Daily Crypto, a show where we review the most important and interesting news of the cryptocurrencies of the past day. And first, let's take a look at the current prices and check my open position as well. The current price of Bitcoin is $72,400, although it has been above $74,000 for only 3 hours, which is really freaking annoying to me because of the position I opened yesterday. So in today's news, we will try to find the answer to the question of whether I should close it ahead of schedule or whether another reversal is awaiting us. But before that, let's take a look at Ethereum. Everything is not perfect here either. The price has dropped to $2,250 and it's only now starting to show signs of slowing down. Now let's get to the news. SEC declares most crypto assets are not securities, including staking, airdrops, and Bitcoin mining. So let's start today with the positive news. The SEC has finally officially recognized that stablecoins are not securities. Chairman Paul Atkins presented a new taxonomy at the DC Blockchain Summit, where he identified 4 categories of assets that are not considered investment contracts. So those are digital goods, namely Bitcoin and other coins, collectibles like NFTs, digital instruments, and payment stablecoins. In accordance with the Genius Act, only tokenized versions of traditional financial instruments are now subject to the relevant legislation, and that is USDT and USDC have officially become money. But the main bomb is announcement of regulation crypto assets, and this is a set of rules that will create transparent ways for the industry to raise capital. In fact, this is the legislation of decentralization, which Hester Peirce talked about back in 2020. Bitcoin quickly pulls back to $72,300 as Iran fears to team up with poor US inflation data. Well, let's get to the point here. The Bitcoin has just started to grow, and that's where the buffoonery have started. Let's take a look at the main reasons now. First, geopolitics. Trump wrote that Iran is the main terrorist, and Israel has eliminated the Minister of Intelligence, and the United States has bombed a number of facilities near the Strait of Hormuz. And let me remind you that the Strait of Hormuz is the place where 1/3 of world's oil passes. Against this background, oil naturally jumped from $92 to $96 in just a couple of hours. The second reason is inflation. Manufacturing inflation in the United States increased by 0.7% instead of expected 0.3%. And that was even before oil prices rose. So it will be even more fun later. Against this background, Bitcoin fell by 2%, Ethereum and Solana sank more, and even gold, which has always been a safe haven, fell by 2.5%. Basically, we're still waiting for statements from Trump and our monitoring situation, and I'm holding my long position for now because it seems to me that a reversal is still very likely. If you like my content, don't forget to like up this video and subscribe to the channel. In this way, you won't miss the next news yourself and will help my channel grow. Man accuses his wife of using CCTV cameras to steal $172 million in bitcoins from his hardware wallet. What do you know about marital conflicts? The Supreme Court of London is considering the theft of 2,323 bitcoins worth $172 million between the spouses. Plaintiff Pin Fai Yuan claims that his wife, Foon Yun Lee, used home surveillance cameras to spy on the seed phrases from his Tether hardware wallet. He claims in August 2023, she transferred Bitcoin to her address without asking, and then it was $60 million, but now taking into account the growth, it's a fortune, and the coins are now spread across 71 addresses and have not moved since December of 2023. The judge dismissed the main claim of embezzlement because in English law, this term is traditionally applied to only physical properties, and Bitcoin is not, and and the case will still be considered on alternative grounds, which may allow the assets to be refunded if the charges are confirmed. The victim himself is not without sin. It turns out that after the theft was discovered, he attacked his wife and had already received a sentence for assault. Now his lawyers will have to prove that his wife really used the cameras to steal the seed phrases and not just found them. Argentina bans Polymarket, orders app removal from Apple and Google. So Argentina decided to play censorship and blocked Polymarket. The Buenos Aires court ruled that the prediction platform operates without a license and it is essentially a hidden online betting system. The main complaints are the lack of verification of identity and age, as well as the use of cryptocurrencies to circumvent regulatory control. Google and Apple must now remove the app from stores and providers might block access to the site nationwide. But the funniest or more suspicious thing happened with the inflation contract in Argentina. Before the publication of the official report for February, analysts were waiting for 2.6 to 2.8%. And 20 minutes before the release, quotes on Polymarket jumped sharply to 2.9%, and the volume of bids increased to $91,000. Observers suspected an insider leak, and apparently the officials did not like that someone knew the numbers before them. Argentina has now joined the club of countries that have already blocked Polymarket, which is Portugal, the Netherlands, Germany, and Romania. Mastercard's $1.8 billion deal is a clear answer to a massive shift in the global payment war. So Mastercard has decided that stablecoins are a strategic necessity and has agreed to purchase a BVNK for $1.8 billion. BVNK is a London-based startup from 2021 that makes gateways between fiat and crypto in 130 countries. Mastercard plans to add on-chain rails to the global network to speed up transactions and implement payment programmability. Product director Jorn Lambert says bluntly, banks and fintech services want to work with stables, and we will give them this opportunity. Interestingly, in November 2025, Coinbase and BVNK had already discussed the $2 billion deal, but then they parted ways. And now BVNK is moving to Mastercard, while PayPal is expanding the geography of its PYUSD stablecoin into 17 new markets, including the UK, Singapore, and Canada. Users will be able to buy, store, and send tokens directly through their PayPal account, and in some countries, they will also receive a reward for holding. TRON's share in stablecoin transactions plummeted to 14%. The share of the TRON network in stablecoin transaction collapsed to 14.6% in February, although it was 36.45% at the beginning of 2025. Data from Visa shows that the blockchain, which has been the king of the USDT for many years, is rapidly losing ground. Moreover, the collapse occurred in just 1 month. Apparently, users are tired of energy and other technical difficulties and have moved to where it is faster and cheaper. The total volume of stablecoin transactions across all networks reached $8.8 trillion over the year, but the real economic activity is only $1.4 trillion, and that is 84% of the total turnover in bots, arbitrations, and internal overflows of smart contracts. In February, Solana broke into the leaders in stable payments, overtaking both TRON and Ethereum. However, in March, Ethereum regained the first place, Solana is in second, and TRON is only the third. Add here the fact that USDC is consistently outperforming USDT in terms of transaction volume, and the picture is not at all rosy for the old guard. Stablecoins are clearly voting with their feet in favor of more modern and faster networks. And that's all the news for today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!